If long-term health is shaped by repeated signals, then the real question becomes this: what signals are we sending the body every single day? Across decades of longitudinal research, a consistent pattern emerges. Individuals who tend to maintain mobility, metabolic stability, and cognitive function over time are not necessarily doing extreme things. They are repeating simple inputs daily. One of the strongest signals is movement, not high-intensity performance, not constant training, just regular, consistent use of the body. When muscles contract, circulation improves, blood sugar regulation becomes more efficient, inflammatory markers tend to decrease, muscle tissue is preserved, and preserving muscle is closely tied to independence later in life. It doesn't require intensity to matter. A brisk walk most days, light resistance training, cycling, carrying groceries, gardening. The body responds to repetition far more than occasional extremes. Another daily signal is metabolic steadiness. Frequent large swings in blood sugar, highly processed food patterns, and chronically excessive caloric intake can gradually increase systemic strain. Over time, the strain shows up in cardiovascular disease risk, insulin resistance, and inflammatory burden. In contrast, dietary patterns centered around whole foods, adequate protein, fiber, and stable energy intake are repeatedly associated with better long-term outcomes. This isn't about perfection or rigid dieting. It's about reducing repeated metabolic stress. Hydration plays a quiet but important role here as well. Even mild chronic dehydration can affect cognitive clarity, physical performance, and kidney function. Water supports circulation, temperature regulation, nutrient transport, and cellular process. It's basic but foundational. Now, sunlight exposure is another underestimated input. Regular daylight exposure supports circadian rhythm alignment, which directly influences sleep quality, hormone regulation, and metabolic health. Sensible sun exposure also supports vitamin D synthesis, which is associated with bone health, immune function, and muscle maintenance. The key word is sensible, not excess, not avoidance. Balanced exposure that support biological rhythm. And then there is recovery. Sleep is when repair accelerates, memory consolidates, hormonal systems recalibrate. Chronic sleep restriction increases inflammatory signals and impairs metabolic regulation. Over years, that accumulates. Stress operates similarly. Persistent psychological strain maintains elevated cortisol and sympathetic activation. That state was designed for short bursts, not continuous activation. Recovery is not passive. It is active biological maintenance. When you step back, none of these patterns are dramatic. Movement, metabolic stability, hydration, sunlight alignment, and sleep. What makes them powerful is consistency. Not for days, not for weeks, but for years. Not all diseases is preventable. Genetics still matter. Environment still matters. But long-term studies consistently show that daily inputs influence long-term outcomes. The research reference in the video is linked in the description if you'd like to examine the data directly. And if this feels simple, that's intentional. The fundamentals often are. What determines impact is repetition. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at muscle preservation specifically, and why maintaining strength may be one of the most important predictors of functional longevity. Because aging well is rarely about intensity, it's about steady signals.